What is up guys, Karotaka here, and today I'm here with a Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be going over the new Anubismon Rush from EX-05. So a long time ago there was an Anubis Rush deck back in like BT3, but that deck is pretty outdated, and I'm really happy that there is a new version of the deck because I quite like Anubismon, and the deck is super fun to play and it's actually pretty consistent. So let's go on with the deck profile. Let's start off with the Tamers first. So we are running 4 of these Pseudomon from BT6, so whenever you discard a card by an effect, you can draw one. So this card is mainly here to help you replenish your hand whenever you use those discards for Anubismon's effects. So it's pretty good. Next, we are going to be running 4 Anubismons. So this is one of the main win cons of the deck. You want to get this out so you can get some cheap Mervamons out and just keep spamming your opponent with attacks. And it's pretty good. It's got 2 effects. The first one activates on evolution and during your main phase. You can discard up to 3 cards from your hand, and then you can play a card from your trash. And if you do that, you can decrease the cost by 3. And then for every card that you discarded, you can further reduce the cost by another 1. So you can potentially reduce the cost by 6, which is pretty good. You get out most of the stuff. Level 5 or below stuff for pretty cheap, but mainly you want to get out your Mervamon, because then your Mervamon will further call out another 2 cards for you to attack with. And then whenever you play a card with an effect, you can pop something level 5 or less, and if you don't pop something level 5 or less, you can draw one. So a lot of times you can use this to fight against your opponent's ace monsters or prevent them from going to ace monsters. Because most of the time they will be level 4 or 5 when they want to go into your ace. So you can use this as an opportunity to pop that. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We'll talk about the weaknesses of this deck a bit later, but yeah, not bad. And then if you can't pop anything, you still draw one. So it kind of replenishes your hand a little bit as well. Next, we are going to be running 3 of the Mervamon from BT11. So this is the other really important card in the deck. You want to dig these out as soon as possible. So you want to play this because on evolution on play, you can play a level 4 or less Digimon or Cross Heart from your trash, and then if you Digicrossed, you can further add another level 4 card to the play limit. So you can play 2, and then on both players' turn, whenever all your Cross Heart and Retaliation units will get Rush as well as Blocker. So really strong. And of course, you can also Digicross a Cross Heart card to reduce the cost by 3. And we do run Ignitemon in this deck, so you have a couple of targets. And yeah, so basically these 2 cards are match made in heaven. If you play this and use this effect to play this, and you Digicross, you're only playing it for a cost of 2, which is really good. You're playing a level 6 for 2 cost, and then you can further call out another 2 units to attack with if they have Retaliation. So overall, it's just a really strong combo. Next, for the level 5s, we are going to be running 4 of the Blue Meramon. So this card is really useful in this deck for a couple of reasons. First, it's got Retaliation, so it kind of fits in with the theme of the deck. But mainly, you actually want the evolution skill, which is to draw 2 and then discard 2, as well as its inherit skill, which is whenever a card is played by an effect on either player's turn, you can get 1 memory. So you'll be able to use this to kind of reduce your evolution costs and whatnot, and just get a lot of memory to play with, which is one of this deck's strengths, just getting a lot of memory. And you're going to need this, the discard, to help you also get memory. You'll see later on. So we're running 3 of the Lady Devimon. This card is the next best alternative to Blue Meramon. So on evolution, you can mill 3, which kind of helps you out with your setup for the trash, but it's randomized, so it's not as good as just being able to dump combo pieces into your trash. But we'll take it. And the second effect is on your turn, whenever a Digimon is played from your trash, you can get 1 memory. So obviously this is weaker. This is from EX-1, so its seeing play is still pretty nice. So we're running 3 of those. You definitely want to go into Meramon over the Lady Devimon, but it's okay. If you can't get it, this is the next best option. And we're also running one Chimeramon. We are going to be playing some level 4s from trash, so if they attack, you bomb them into the security and they don't die, you can DNA Digivolve into Chimeramon for an extra attack. And you can also use it to shove in useful sources. So, you know, pretty good. I'll use it for extra attack. Ideally, you want to finish your opponent as soon as possible with this deck. So once you get your setup ready, you should be able to get four-ish or 5 attacks in per turn. So you should be able to kill them pretty fast. And then for level 4s, we're running 4 of the new Doberman X Antibody. So this is a really strong card. On play, until the end of your opponent's turn, discards Retaliation, so it combos well with Rivermon. And then on evolution, you can draw one, and then discard a card from your hand. And then if you have Doberman or X Antibody in a source, you can activate its unplayability, but we're not running any other Dobermons, so a little bit unfortunate there, but it's okay. Another really strong thing about him is the inherit skill, which is whenever a Digimon is played by an effect, on your turn you can get one memory back. So, still pretty decent. And then next for the other level 4s, we're running 2 Saberdramons. So this is here as another suicide bomber. You use this to attack into your opponent's Digimon. It's got Raid as well as Retaliation, so you can use it to take out big threats. And then its inherit skill is okay. It's on deletion, you can pick out a red or purple Digimon for attraction and add it back to your hand. But mainly you want it for the Retaliation. So this is one of the best Retaliation cards out there right now. So we're running 2 of those. We don't really have space for more because the evolution cost is 3, so you don't want to evolve this into your raising area. So instead we have 2 of these. These are from BT11. Dark Rizamon. So it's got Retaliation, and on deletion you can draw one and discard one, so you can do a little bit of filtering as well. It's not bad. This is not a bad card. I think it still has its uses. But if you don't like it, you want to run something a little bit more new, you can kind of find space for other cards. But I quite like these at 2 right here. I think some people also run Soulmon, which gives Retaliation units plus 2k, which I'd rather have the filter, honestly. Alright. Next, we are going to be running 4 of the Ogremon. So this is the next best option besides the Doberman, or first best option if you're not into level 6 yet. So whenever a card is discarded from your hand by an effect, you can get 1 memory. So this works really well with the Blue Meramon, because you get the memory back. And pretty much you're going to be Digivolving into Blue Meramon for 2 costs, which is really good. And move on to the level 3s, we're running 4 of the Ignitmon. Ignitmon is here because it's got the same effect as Blue Meramon. Whenever a Digimon is played by an effect, on both players' turn, you can get 1 memory. So really good. This card just made perfect for this deck. You want it for the Mervamon source, and you also want it to get memory whenever you play something. So, stonks. We're also running the Labromon. So this one, it only works on your turn, but you still get memory whenever a Digimon is played by effect. So this is still really good to have in the raising area as well. This is the second best option, I guess. These are both really good. If you're putting them in a raising area, they pretty much have the same purpose. So there's that. Also forgot to tell you, Ignitmon is also really good for removing Digimon on the board, because when he attacks, you can pop one of your Digimon, and you can pop one of your opponent's Digimon with a level lower than that in unsuspend. They have to be unsuspended, but still pretty good. So if they're arrested, you can crash into them with Retaliation. If they're unsuspended, you can pop them with Ignitmon. So a bit of control there, which is really nice. Next, we're running 3 of the Gatsumon. So we're running this just mainly in case you don't see any of your Retaliation cards. You can still use this as an attacker. Downside to this is if this attacks into your opponent's Digimon, you lose 2 memory. So most of the time you're going to be using this to attack into your opponent's security. You won't lose memory that way. But I think 3 is fine. You just want to have this to ditch, mainly just ditch fodder. And it just targets for your Mervamon. Since we can't fill out our level 4 lineup with it, we have a little space in level 3. So we're going to throw those. And last slot for level 3s, we are going to be running 2 Gazimons. This is just here to counter your opponent's plays when they're using cards that can help gain memory. So this is just kind of counter for that. So that is all the Digimon in the deck. Let's go over the Tamers next. We are going to be running 2 Yamatos. I think this is one of the best purple Tamers right now, especially for a deck that discards. So yeah, just whenever a card is a memory setter, and it's also whenever one of your cards is discarded by an effect, you can rest this card to draw one. Get 1 memory back. So really, really good. Next, for the options, we're running 4 of the purple memory boosts, mainly just to dig through your deck and get your combo pieces. And I feel purple memory boost is better in this deck than the training, because your Mervamon is on play, right? So you won't be able to use the training for that. So if you have this on the board, remove it, and you can pretty much play the Mervamon for free if you're using a Anubismon skill. So really, really good. Of course, this deck definitely does have space for the training cards. In fact, this slot, you can use it for training instead, but I actually only have 4 playsets of each. I only have a playset of each of the colors of trainings in the arsenal right now, so those training cards are in my Fenrir-Lucamon deck. So I am running 2 of the Tenenmon option card from BT6, but this slot can definitely be replaced for the training cards. But this is also really good. Whenever you discard this with a effect, you can draw one back. So if you're discarding this with the Anubismon, this is kind of a refund. So this is like a budget option. If you're not wanting to buy a bunch of training cards for really expensive, then this is definitely an option. But if I'm playing in a tournament, I probably will place these with the training cards. And in fact, these can also be replaced with training if you want. So first is Demonic Disaster. So running one of these, you can delete one of your Digimon and then one of your purple Digimon unsuspense. So this is used to do last hits, so you can go for lethal with this. If you don't have Chimeramon on the board, or you don't have enough Digimon for Chimeramon. So for example, if you only have 2 Digimon on the board, and then one is level 3, you can just pop that and unsuspend your level 4 to attack, which is perfectly fine. So this is there for that. I think it's a nice cheeky one-off that you can run, but if you don't like it, of course you can run it for other stuff. And we're also running one of the Call for Dark, just to get some combo pieces back. If you attack with one of your Retaliation units and you don't have use for them anymore, you can just pop it and just fetch combo pieces back to set up for next turn. And this is really good for that. So that is my deck. Of course, there are some builds out there that can use a little bit more top heavy cards like level 7s. I think I've seen decks that use Shine Greymon, Rune Mode, and I think Dexmon. Dexmon is really good. This deck is really bad against Dexmon. So since this deck goes so wide, your opponent is gonna chew you out with Dexmon if they have it. So watch out for that. If you don't think you can go for lethal, don't overextend, because then you're gonna get punished for it, and then you're gonna probably lose all of the momentum you have. So usually you're gonna try chipping at your opponent's life until they have like three security left, and then you can try to go wombo combo into your lethal, and then go into go into your big wide board. So ideally, you actually want to, after attacking with your Retaliation units, you want to get rid of some so that you can reduce the size of your board, so you can make your opponent not play Dexmon for free. So that's why actually Call of the Dark and Demonic Disaster are actually pretty helpful for that. In case they don't crash, or you're not using it to crash into your opponent's Digimon, you can use this to reduce the size, just so it can make it less easy for opponent to set up, just slap down a Dexmon. I think that's mainly the weakness of the deck. But for the most part, this deck does go for the kill pretty fast, and this deck does do it pretty consistently. Just because there's so many options that you can have to play now. But yeah, mainly you just want to have, as long as you have a proper line built and at least one of these, each of these in your hand, then you're pretty much set. But that is pretty much it for this deck. This deck is super fun to play. Actually, probably currently one of my favorite decks to play in EX-05. This deck is just pretty versatile, honestly. It's got control, you got draw, you got walkers, you got lots of things you can do in this deck. But you know, there is obviously, again, more top heavy deck builds you can do. You can experiment yourself, but this is kind of the way I like to play it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see more Digimon content, please feel free to subscribe and leave a like. And yeah, this is Karataku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!